Today we're going to be doing something that I've wanted to do for such a long time. Now, as you know, here on the channel, I like to make those vehicle tour videos where I meet people in person, film a bunch of stuff, ask them a load of questions, and post it here on YouTube. Now, I do have plans to meet a whole bunch of people this year and film brand new in-person video tours of their vehicles. Now, I can't just snap my fingers and be with some of my friends in America or anywhere else in the world just to film their vehicle and then fly back. That would be amazing, actually. If that could be my job, that would be... There's so many amazing old Volkswagens around the world that people have, they've worked on, they've built, they've modified, and I want more people to see them. So it sparked this idea for this YouTube channel to host those vehicle tours. So what I've done is I've got people to send me their footage from around the world. I've asked them questions, they've filmed their vehicle tour and sent me the footage. So if you want to be featured on the channel showcasing your Volkswagen, doesn't matter how many followers you have, it doesn't matter how much money you've poured into your blessed Volkswagen, but if you do want to get featured here on the channel, you are welcome to. There's information on the screen how to get in touch, and we can make that happen. So today we have our first international guest showcasing their old Volkswagen here on the channel. This is Brock from California, featuring his Sunbrite Yellow late Westy Volkswagen Rabbit pickup, which is kind of rare to see. I've only seen it a couple of times now, but it's I would say it's quite rare to see a Sunbrite Yellow late Westy. We've seen the early Westy Sunbrite Yellow, but of course they did carry that paint code over to the late Westy, which is quite interesting. So it's not a one-year color, but still quite rare to see in such good condition as well. So enjoy the video.
How's it going, everybody? This is my 1981 Volkswagen Rabbit pickup. My name is Brock. I'm from Fresno, California, across the pond, some would say. I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of my truck and some of the modifications that I've done to it. Some information about me. This is my fifth Volkswagen that I've owned. I've had quite a few that I've bought and sold. Then I had a really nice Lago Blue truck that ended up getting totaled out, and that kind of left a void in my heart. And so a few months ago I went ahead and picked up this truck out of Sacramento. I paid $3,500 for it. It had a couple of issues that I'll talk about that kind of help with that price a little bit, but I think I got a steal of a deal for this Sunbrite Yellow Rabbit pickup. I went ahead and picked up this truck about 6 months ago up in Sacramento. It was pretty completely stock when I picked it up. The only mod it had was the 1.6 turbo diesel that we have here in the States. So this is considered a late Westy, which was produced from 81 to 83. Then they started introducing the Mark II over here in the States. So one of the biggest differences between mine and Dan's is these quarter markers right here. So that's the biggest takeaway for the late Westies. Then as you can see, I went ahead and did a bumper tuck. It's a little bit harder on these late Westies because the mounting is a solid piece of metal. So I went ahead and cut that down and re-welded it. Then the next thing you can probably tell is this truck has been lowered quite a bit. Up in the front, I have some solo work coilovers. A couple of my buddies work over there and they hooked me up. Then in the rear, I have a axle flip with a set of air shocks. The next little neat feature about this truck is the set of Pirelli P slots that it has on here. These are actually quite rare in the States because they have 8 Ps, where the traditional ones were 9. So we had a Pirelli edition here in the States that came with the 9 P slots like I had mentioned. But I think these 8 Ps were only produced in Canada and some parts of Europe. But from what I've heard, they are extremely rare. They are 14s. They're on some 185/55 14s. There's the back side of the truck. Tailgate's fairly straight. Bumper is a little sad. As you can see, it droops on both sides. Then you can actually see the straighter valve right here for the air shocks. That is fairly straight. The previous owner did have a couple of mounting brackets for a bench seat back when he had a camper shell on here. Here's the passenger side. Like I said, body's pretty straight, but there are a couple little dents. I'm sure you could see that one in the bedside right there. This is Sunbrite Yellow. It is in really good shape. I would consider this truck a survivor. You know, this truck isn't perfect, as you can tell, missing a bumper end right here. There are a lot of different things I still want to do to this truck. The guy had some Toyota mirrors that were real big, and so unfortunately there are some holes here on the side of the truck. So the big seller for me on this truck was the interior. As you can tell, it is very unmolested and still in very good shape. You can tell the radio is still in there. Usually that's one of the first things that gets butchered. Got a cheeky little shift knob right there. Carpet's in amazing shape. Seats. And so here you can see some more of the differences between the late Westy and the early Westy. I got a Mark 1 Scirocco steering wheel on here. That's one of the mods I did. Other than that, that's like the only real thing I've done to the interior. Here you can tell the cluster is different than Dan's. We got a clock on the right, then the speedometer on the left. This has 161,000 original miles. Usually on those clusters, the odometer stops working, and if you hit the reset for the trip mileage, it usually breaks the gear in the back, but this one still works. This does have a set of the stock coffin chairs, but unlike Dan's and the late Westies, these did have a different kind of pattern on the upholstery. But other than that, really the biggest differences were the knee bar in the early Westies and the dash. This dash for the late Westies is different, the cluster, and obviously no knee bar. This was a AC truck, although it does not work. We got a 5-speed that I'll discuss in a little bit, but dash is uncracked. Got one of these little dash covers to try and hopefully preserve it. A little bit of discoloration on this seat right here, then obviously on that door handle over there as well. So here in the engine bay, we have a 1.6 turbo diesel. For the Mark 1s in the US, we had a very limited run of turbo diesels in Mark 1s, something like 300, but this was actually swapped by a previous owner down the line. So this engine would have came out of Mark II Jetta of some sort. It's all stock. It's got some ghetto intake piping that was already done, but this is the next thing to be on the chopping block is the engine bay. I definitely want to clean it up, delete a couple unnecessary wires, but some of the mods we do have are this Eurosport front strut bar. Then other than that, this engine is completely stock. It probably makes 50 or 60 horsepower. So it is a little bit faster than the 1.6 that would have normally came in this truck, but still not perfect by any means. It does have a 5-speed, as I previously mentioned. This truck would have normally came with a 4-speed. Power brakes, but manual rack, cable clutch, the whole shebang. Nothing too special. I do have some future plans to swap this engine out in the future for something that can go a little bit faster on the freeways and make a little bit more horsepower. Here you can see another view of the bumper tuck in the front end. You can tell by that little pipe down there hanging down on the ground. I do have a 2.5-inch straight pipe going all the way to the back. It's actually surprisingly not too loud at all, and it's very manageable. Sounds pretty good, whistles. Like a big diesel, but it's just a little truck. I put these cheeky little flag mirrors. I'd like to get a set of chrome flag mirrors one day, but those are pretty hard to come by these days. I did spend quite a few hours refinishing these wheels, sanding them down from 80 grit all the way to 5,000, then I polished them out. Truck has been fully polished as well. And I'd say it looks pretty darn good for a 44-year-old truck now. Not too shabby. I do have quite a bit of plans for this truck in the near future. I do eventually want to do an engine swap. The AOH is a very bulletproof platform that we have here in the States, and I'd like to swap it in there and get some better gearing for the highway speeds. Another thing I want to do is I want to put a rear sway bar on this thing. It handles pretty good as is with that front strut mount, and I have a lower brace that I forgot to mention. But yeah, I want to do a rear sway bar on it. Then I eventually want to do a front lip on the front of this. I actually just ordered one. There's been a couple of inspirations for this truck. I'll throw a couple pictures on. Rabbit Meister has a very nice front lip that I want to take inspiration from. He also has a Sunbrite Yellow truck. Then I was thinking of maybe doing a camper shell with a color match on it. I saw some guy on Instagram had a camper shell that was color matched to the yellow, and I thought it looked pretty cool. He also had some color matched wheels too, so I was thinking maybe if I color matched the inside of those P slots, it'd be kind of cool. But maybe it's too much, maybe it's not. Other than that, this is my 1981 Volkswagen Rabbit pickup. Thank you guys for watching.
Wasn't that fun? Thank you again, Brock, for sending me the footage and doing the whole truck tour thing. Really appreciate it. And for those watching at home, Brock actually saw some of my previous videos and saw that someone reversed into the truck, bent up the whole license plate holder, and he's actually sending me one of his own that he had spare. So it means so much that someone would actually see something online and be like, I've got one of those, bosh, in the mail. And so I appreciate it so much. Thank you for that. And he is obviously a supporter of Old Volks Supply as well. So double whammy, mate. Thank you so much. And if you want to help support the YouTube channel and what I'm trying to do here, then please do go to oldvolks.co.uk. Get yourself a t-shirt or a hoodie. All the profits do help support the channel and helps me to make more and better content, so appreciate it. If you enjoyed today's video, you want to see more of these types of videos, then please do subscribe. Give me one of those little thumbs up down below. Leave a comment below as well if you want to get in touch. You know what to do. If you want to get featured on the channel, I'd appreciate it. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.